What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We got a loaded live show for you guys. 3 awesome segments. Going to be about 1 awesome hour. Cannot wait to spend it with the rest of the flock, all of Ravens Nation, hanging out with us right now on the Ravens Rundown. Starting up first, our first segment of the day, we got some more evidence that the Ravens draft class was phenomenal. I have a lot of really great thoughts about it. I'm sure you guys are really excited about the 11 new players in Baltimore as well. But after hearing this, you're going to think it's even better than you thought it was previously. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about Von Miller because there's some word on the street, some articles from Last Word on Sports saying that he would be a perfect fit with the Baltimore Ravens. So could they be making a run at the former Super Bowl MVP and future Hall of Famer? And then last up, how we always end these things in the best way possible. We got a live mailbag in our third segment. Your questions, my answers about anything revolving around the Baltimore Ravens, the NFL, myself, producer Jack, anything you could want to ask me. Make sure to get down in the comment section. Use hashtag Ravens to get your questions in on today's show. We got a ton of people hanging out with us already. I already see Daniel in the chat. Antonio is here. Kimberly's here. What's going on? Kimberly Esidionis is here saying, what's up, flock? Love that shirt. Joey, thank you so much. I got it last year for my birthday. I was rocking it for the entirety of the 2024 season. I would love to know record based on clothes. I would like to think that sweatshirt I have, I wore that the majority of the games. This one I probably wore for like 5 or 6 of them. I know there's at least 1 loss on it, though, because it's what I wore for the Chiefs game opening week. Coach is in here saying, what's going on, everybody? We got Christina Gary in here. Darius Williams saying hi. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below, which game are you most excited for in 2025? I put this as the poll, but feel free if it's one of those, let me know. And if it's not one of those, let me know as well. Right now, the leading vote getter is the Bills Week 1 game at 57%. Up next is Week 4 at the Chiefs, 29%. Week 13 against the Bengals is in third place at 13%. At 0%, Week 17 at Lambeau Field against the Packers. I thought that might have been a little bit more excited about it. I know that one's going to be a lot of fun for me. Jameer Castro saying, hashtag Ravens. If the Ravens were to trade for anyone, who would you want to see them sign? Great question, Jameer. Right off the top, I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. I'm going to answer this in like the super spicy way and say trade for Trey Hendrickson. And then I'm going to answer it in the more like mild way. Let me think of a linebacker I would love for them to trade for. Because I think we need one more really good linebacker. Possibly one more corner as well. I'm going to think on that one. I'm going to give you my full answer in segment 3. But great question. Glad you're getting it in. Moo Better said, is Von Miller coming to Baltimore? Well, Moo, Last Word on Sports definitely thinks it could be a possibility. Yamel saying hi from Puerto Rico. What's going on? Glad you are hanging out with us. Christina says, Bills versus Ravens. That one is going to be a movie. An absolute motion picture. I'm really pumped up for that one. Jack's laughing at that. That one's going to be fun. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Carrie singing us into it. Oh, I love Carrie. Oh, Carrie. Esidionis said, cannot wait to see us smash Pittsburgh. Not going to lie. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we went 2-0 against the Pittsburgh Squealers this year. Yeah, well, do you know what that nuke was? It was literally just the NFL flag football thing. Like, that's what it was. That's what it was. I asked Sperry. I know. That's his life. Do you know what I called him? I called him the Filippodi of chat sports. You know he's always mad at Filippodi? He's the Andrew Filippodi of chat sports.
Sperry, and I love Sperry.
We're talking about our Steelers host for all of you who don't know.
Sperry is the guy to believe random Twitter user about anything. Like he was talking about how he was glued to Slick Rick's Twitter profile. Not Rappaport, Schefter, any of the beat reporters that cover the Steelers. Nah, some rando Twitter guy that's like got a 50% hit rate.
Yeah.
He's
And
like,
160 followers.
I know. And he's like, I got my eyes glued to that guy. Sperry's the guy that believes all the conspiracy theories and will believe rando egg emoji, not egg emoji, egg profile photo, no follower Twitter guy.
Yeah, he is 100%.
I love him,
but
it's funny.
He gets got a lot. He gets his hopes up. Let's just say that. Yeah, he does. I wonder how much sleep he's lost over the past 2 months. It's been 2 months, dude. Do you remember free agency? They went live every day for Pat McAfee watch.
I don't like to be the toot my own horn where Jack was right. I don't like to do that, but I was so right.
Yeah.
I was so right.
Yeah.
I said it in the office for a month. I said he's going to wait till the draft. He's not going to say anything till the draft.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be April. I didn't think it'd be this late.
I said he's going to prolong this for as long as he wants because everyone's going to be talking about him and he loves the attention. Everyone was like, oh, no, Jack, he'll sign blah, 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 this, that, that. I was right. Yeah. I'm still right. I'm more right. I'm more right, actually.
You're more right every day.
Every day.
Every day. Moo Better says, hopefully by week 17 we're playing our second and third stringers. You're not wrong. Facts Moo says SA. Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander, great trade targets. Yeah, Jair, his contract is a little bit too high for me for the lack of playing time he has. Kind of same with Jalen Ramsey. God, they just get paid so much. Coach said, would love to have Jalen Ramsey added. It feels like we are all in this year. I hope we're all in. We need to be all in. This is a year you can win a Super Bowl. Do you think we finally beat the Chiefs this season, says Darius? I don't know. Like, if we played them in the playoffs, I'd say yes. But you're playing them week 4 on the road after playing the Bills on the road and the Lions at home. It's just like, it's not the greatest spot to be playing the Chiefs. Yamel says, crossing my fingers for no trick plays at the 2-yard line this season. That's the thing, Yamel, is it wasn't even a trick play. It was just honestly, it wasn't a bad play at all. It just, Mark Andrews drop. It's good. K. Beasy says Buffalo and KC. K. Beasy also says Joe Burrow already crying about how he has to come here for prime time. I saw that. What a joke. What a loser. Make sure if you guys want to be like Darius and Jameer, to get those questions in on the show in the comment section, use hashtag Ravens, or you could super chat to get on today's show. A $1, $2, $3 super chat is enough to guarantee your question gets on. And if you guys want to risk it, take the chance, put it up in Jack's hands. You can go ahead and use hashtag Ravens, uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. Just has to be spelled right. Hashtag Ravens have to be together in the sentence. Make sure you guys are liking today's video as well, because a little bit of some personal info. Today is my 1 year with Chat Sports. So like the video to celebrate. I started on May 20th, 2024. Nervous, excited, had no clue what the next year was going to hold. And here I am 1 year later, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 10 months into hosting this channel. So appreciate all you guys who watch, support, show me love. Let's like this video to celebrate.
Everyone liked the video and everyone spam Joey. I'm going to just say this. First off, congratulations.
Thank you, Jack.
Welcome to rarefied air.
Yeah.
Because it's a feat to get to 1 year here.
Yeah.
Because we work long hours. It's a very tough schedule. It is what it is. It's not for the faint of heart. So for you to get to a year, you're still going strong. Congratulations. It's awesome. So everyone spam Joey.
Appreciate you guys. Make sure to like today's video. Oh, gosh. What'd he say? That's funny. Make sure to like today's video. Celebrate it with me. 1 year right here at Chat Sports. 10 months with the Ravens Rundown. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and get those likes in the chat. Andy said, do the Ravens have their shirt, that shirt you're wearing, on their site? Unfortunately, they do not. I actually got this one off of eBay. So we will have a t-shirt. Yeah, we will have a t-shirt available later in today's videos. Yamal says we should run it 3 times in a row if we need be with the king. Could not agree more. S.A. Diona saying happy 1 year, Joey. You're the man. Appreciate you, S.A. Jameer is saying, Joey, how excited are you to see Malaki Starks in the Ravens secondary? I'm super pumped, man. I love the draft pick. I don't know if you guys saw it. We're going to touch on it in a little bit. But the conversation from the war room with Eric DaCosta and a couple of the scouts about who they're going to take, I think it was either Eman Worry or Starks. They obviously went with Starks, and I think that was the correct plan and the correct call right there. And so it was really, really some cool audio, a little bit of a cool video. And so I'm excited to show you guys that. But I'm really pumped for some Malaki Starks. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Joey, I love that pickup that the Ravens got from Oakland, JB. I love it too, man. I think Jenkins is going to be a really, really strong nose tackle in the middle. We just needed some depth there. So that's that. Ravens going to smoke the Bills week 1. I expect a comfortable win. I hope so, man. Our Flock says the best chat sportsman out there. Appreciate you, our Flock. And week 1 is away. It is in Buffalo. I appreciate you guys all for watching me, hanging out with me every single day right here on the channel. I'm so lucky to be able to do what I do. It's been an absolute blast. I've grown a ton over the last year. Have really, really enjoyed being here, meeting the people that I meet, getting to work with the people that I work with, and getting to, what's that again? No. Don't worry. I'm here for a while, Jack. And getting to talk to you guys every single day right here on the channel. You guys make my job a lot of fun, and I'm very appreciative of you guys. And our Flock said, Joey, I need the season to come earlier. After NBA playoffs, we begin the great sports drought. You're not wrong. Jack's a big baseball guy, so that offends him. But I agree. I love the Rangers, but like, it is a little bit of a sports drought. The one thing that gets me through it a lot as well is like after the NBA playoffs and the hockey playoffs, I'm a big Stars fan, so I'm super locked into what the Stars are doing right now. But at the same time, college baseball, those playoffs are happening. SEC tournaments this week, and then regionals, super regionals is after that. And my Tennessee Volunteers are just coming off a national championship. They're not going to win it again. They're not as good this year, but I hope they at least make a super regional. So that'll get me at least locked in on sports for a little while longer. Andy Young said, Joey, Ravens need more back-end players, offense player. Do you think the Ravens get a player from the Bills? Rasul Douglas, possibly a corner to look at. He's on the free agency market. Not comfortable with outside corner opposite Wiggins. Marlon's the best in the slot. Ravens got to find a way to acquire the upper-tier quarterback. I love that, man. I totally agree. I love Nate Wiggins. It was going to be perfect. Marlon on the outside and Kyle Hamilton playing a little bit of – yeah, okay. Does. Yes, it does. But I was really excited to see where Hamilton was going to like fit into this offense with Malaki Starks and Ardarius Washington. Obviously, Washington getting hurt kind of switches some things up. So, yeah, I couldn't agree more. What do you see the AFC playoff standings being? Oh, great question, Joe. Excited to dive into that one at the end of today's show. Yeah, they did. Orioles are letting us down bad, says SA. Yeah, they suck, man. Hopefully the new coach is going to help out a little bit. Okay, Jack, are we ready to roll? Comments are popping today, but let's get into the first segment. If you guys want to keep getting those questions in while we're in our segments, feel free to keep asking. #Ravens. And we'll get to them in segment number 3. Keep liking the video. Share it with a friend. Get as many Ravens fans as we can in here. First segment on today's show. More evidence of a great draft for Baltimore. Some reasons for you guys to be really, really excited. Yamo, great question. Copy, paste it, ask it again. Use #Ravens. And we'll get it in today's show. All right, Jack, you ready to roll? 40 likes by the end of the segment. Okay, that's my challenge. That's what you guys got to do. Help me out. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's roll into segment number 1. What's going on, everybody? If you love the Baltimore Ravens draft already, I promise you're going to come away from today's video and love it even more. Okay, I got some great evidence why Baltimore had a great draft. And then on the second half, we're going to break down a little bit of War Room audio and talk about a player that Baltimore almost picked. over their first round selection. Stick around for that. It was a really, really fun time getting to cover the draft, talk about all of these draft picks. Obviously, you hit it big in the first 2 rounds with Starks and Green back-to-back. Teddy Buchanan, I think he's going to be a sleeper to possibly start in week 1. You got a lot of really good guys in round 5 and early round 6. None that really jumped off the page and excited you too much. And then you rounded it out with Aeneas Peebles, Robert Longerbeam, Garrett Dellinger, a really, really great 3-run stretch on picks right there that I think are going to be phenomenal depth pieces. And I expect Longerbeam to make a massive jump from year 1 to year 2 going into 2026. Make sure you guys give me a follow on X. Okay, I'm currently sitting at 886 followers. 14 away from 900. That is the goal today. Help me out. Okay, do me a big solid. Follow me at Joey Petersen 8. The link to my social media will be in the comments and description of today's video as well. Give me a follow. Help me get to 900 followers. So what we're talking about today is something from PFF because they ranked the most experienced draft classes in the National Football League. And it goes as follows. Seattle Seahawks at number 1, 22,970 snaps in their draft class. Las Vegas at number 2, 22,874 snaps in their draft class. And there are the Baltimore Ravens at number 3 with 22,561 snaps in their 11 players selected. Thomas Valentine went a little bit deeper. The Ravens assembled a well-rounded draft class led by one of the top defenders in the country in safety Malaki Starks. The UGA product earned a 78.3 grade in 2024 and showed rare versatility across the secondary. He played 1,191 snaps at free safety, 644 in the slot, 544 in the box, a flexible skill set that aligns well with Baltimore's philosophy. 7 of the Ravens draft picks played more than 2,000 snaps in college. 5th-round tackle Carson Vincent led the group with 3,428 snaps at left tackle for Alabama A&M, posted a 75.2 grade in his final season. In contrast, 2nd-round edge rusher Mike Green broke out late. He recorded just 1,098 career snaps at Marshall, but led the FBS in sacks and earned a 92.4 grade in 2024. And I love this because when you're a team that is competing for Super Bowls, okay, that's what you have to judge this draft class on. You can't just judge it on a scale that you judge every single team on. You got to realize that this roster is ready to win a Super Bowl right now. And when you are ready to win a Super Bowl tomorrow, it's key to bring in talent that already has a lot of experience, that could come in and play right away. Because you don't necessarily have the time or want to have the time or patience to say, we'll let these guys develop and we're going to lean on them in 2 or 3 years. No. You want guys that have already played a ton of football in their career that could come in and in year 1 fill those missing holes, be those missing pieces to get you to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Do it now for me in the comment section down below. I want you to grade this Ravens draft class. I've asked you to do this a ton over the last couple of weeks, months, I guess. It's been over a month since the NFL draft, or just around about a month. I want you to grade for me. In the comment section, give me an A, B, C, D, or F. If you look at how the draft class sits for snap count, you can see Malaki Starks with over 2,000. Mike Green, they said, had not a lot. They were right. Only 1,000 snaps. He had the least of the entire class. But everybody else really racked up a ton of snaps in college, got a ton of experience in college, and played a ton in their 3 or 4 years at their university. Basically, you got a whole lot of guys who've played lots of football in their life, which, again, like I was just saying, benefits you greatly. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be a little bit of time where they have to adjust to the National Football League, because there is. Jumping up from college to the NFL is a massive, massive jump. But it helps make that jump when you've played a lot of football already. Basically, this should just cut down the time that it takes to adjust, because you've already had a lot of snaps in your career. There's 6 players in that draft class that I expect to contribute year 1. Malaki Starks, Mike Green, Teddy Buchanan, Tyler Loop, LaJohntay Wester, and Aeneas Peebles. Now, I'm not saying that everybody else who doesn't contribute is a massive failure. And I'm not saying the other guys won't get snaps from time to time. But those 6, I expect you to see them in every single game that's played. Of those 6, 2 of those guys are pretty much guaranteed year 1 starters at this point. Malaki Starks in the safety position, and Tyler Loop in the kicking position. Okay? I'm pretty positive. I bet a lot of money that both those guys will be in the starting rotation week 1 for the entirety of the season. Now, speaking of that entirety of the season, there's 5 guys that I would not be surprised at all to see them start at the end of year 1. Okay? Obviously, Malaki Starks and Tyler Loop are on that list. Mike Green could be a guy who kind of starts the season as a rotational pass rusher, and then by week 16, 15, 14, maybe 17, he's in there more consistently. He's a starting edge rusher. He's proven that he's worth it. Teddy Buchanan, kind of same breath. Would not be surprised if they started Trenton Simpson in week 1 just because he played for the entirety and majority of last season. Would not be surprised if they gave him the nod over Buchanan, but over the course of the year, Buchanan proved to be more athletic, more reliable, and just a better player overall. And then I got a question mark next to Emory Jones because he's going to be an interesting case study. Played tackle in college, and so there's still that big question mark whether or not they're going to move him from tackle to guard, which I think they should. But also he's dealing with a labrum issue, an injury right now. So he didn't play in rookie minicamp. He's not going to play in OTAs. He's scheduled to be back by training camp, but that's not going to happen until early July. And so he's going to miss out on a lot of those massive reps that a lot of these guys are getting. So I think that's going to hurt his ability to start in the beginning. But if he proves to be a really good player throughout the course of the season, would not be surprised if he took over Daniel Fa'alele or Andrew Voorhees' spot. Let me know in the comment section, which rookie are you most excited for? I still think mine is Mike Green. Mike Green, Malaki Starks. That's going to be a toss-up. You let me know yours in the comments right now. So coming up, we're going to give you a peek into the Ravens war room. They released a video on social media that was really, really cool, and they actually showed them debating one safety over the other. Malaki Starks and another guy. I'll tell you all about that in just a second. Make sure you guys head over to chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt to get this t-shirt in your closet right now. Look, it's May. It's hot. I know in Baltimore it probably isn't as hot as it is in Dallas, Texas. It is a crisp 92 degrees right now in DFW. But still, I know the summers can get a little bit warm in Baltimore. That's why you got to get one of these t-shirts. You can cut the sleeves off even if you want to. You can do whatever you want. But all I know is you got to look sweet while you're rocking your favorite team and their merch. So chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt was where you got to go. Support the Ravens Rundown. Support the Ravens. Support Fanatics. Support everybody by getting one of these. Again, chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. The link to that promo is in the comments and description of today's video. So the Ravens posted this video on Twitter inside the war room right when they were trying to make their first round selection. It starts off by Eric DeCosta saying, "Hey, Andrew and Joey." Not me. I wish it was. "Come down here. I'm going to put you guys on the spot," because he had to ask them a question, and here's how it went. "I know you both like Starks, so who would you take?" And I don't know which one's Andrew, which one's Joey, so I'm just going to call him Scout. The Scout said Starks. DeCosta said, "What separates those two guys?" The Scout says the intangibles, the makeup, Starks' playmaking ability. And then EDC follows saying, "Honestly, I'd take Starks if it's those two." So in my opinion, I think they're debating between Malaki Starks and Nick Ebenwari, the safety out of South Carolina. Now, why do you think I know this? Well, I did a little bit of investigating, and I'm going to trademark this, Joey Petersen's investigative services. If you zoom in to the computer right there, I believe that's John Harbaugh, you can see a little bit of South Carolina game film. You can see that big Gamecock logo right there on the computer. And so you kind of got to believe that's the two they're debating between. And also, those are really the only guys you can compare is two different safeties. So they're comparing two safeties. They got South Carolina film on the computer. 1 + 1 = 2. They're talking about Nick Ebenwari and Malaki Starks. Ultimately, I say all that to say they made the right decision. I think that they made the right decision. When it comes to Nick Ebenwari, I think his ceiling might be a little bit higher than Malaki Starks is, but I think the floor is a lot lower, okay? He's a little bit more athletic. He's bigger. He's faster. That's going to help him out at some point, right? But also, like, he just didn't have the stuff on tape. He was not near as consistent as Malaki Starks was. I love the fact that it was unanimous. It took those scouts all but half a second to say Starks. And then Eric DeCosta followed that up with saying, you know what, between those two, I would take Starks as well. Let's talk a little bit more about Malaki. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school, and he was a track star, a 10.55 100-meter dash. Earned first-team freshman All-American honors in 2022, where he led Georgia in tackles with 77. He had a really, really great career. He was shot out of the cannon as a freshman, like we're all talking about right here, and just kind of stayed consistent through his 3 seasons, which is something you always want to look for. He's a leader. That's what I love most about him. He's a leader of men. A lot of people can be good football players, but can they get their teammates to rally around them? I think Malaki Starks already can. Jeff Zreback tweeted this out after rookie minicamp, saying Ravens safety Malaki Starks broke down the huddle today. Said it was an honor that he does not take lightly. Now, get it, it's only really the rookies there, the first-year guys. Sometimes the second-year guys are in there as well, but still, that's what you want out of your first-round pick. You want him to be that guy that everybody rallies around, that people look to. You want him to be the leader. He's there. His first day in pads for this organization. First day in a practice jersey. He's saying, look, this is my team. This is my defense. Okay? These are my guys. I think that means they made the right selection. Now, we're going to have to see it play out on the football field, but everything we've seen off the football field leads to him being a star in Baltimore for a very long time. I talk a ton about Malaki Starks on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me there at Joey Petersen 8. Follow me on Instagram if you want as well. Same handles, 2 different platforms. Links to both those are in the comments and description. And also, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We do this thing daily. All we talk about is the Ravens every single day. So join us today. Join us tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Alrighty, there it is. A little bit of draft intel, some behind-the-scenes look at some different things. Y'all let me know in the comments down below, which rookie are you most excited for? We got some LeJontay Wester, some nice peoples. Joe asked a great question. Will the Ravens use LeJontay Wester mostly for special teams? I would think so, especially his rookie year. I don't see him getting a ton of targets just because you got to think who they've all got to share the ball with, you know? Like, they got to share the ball with a lot of people. Hashtag Ravens, do you think Lamar Jackson going to run more since we got a good backup QB? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be what leads to him running more. Hashtag Ravens, I really like what I saw about Bo Braid. He could be Baby Hamilton. Do you think he will get a real shot to be the third safety? I think so. Everything they've showed me so far since last week, since Ardarius has been injured, has pointed to that. Them trusting Bo Braid, them trusting possibly Sanusi Kane. I loved him in the preseason last year. Can't wait to see him this year. Hopefully, Oweh can improve on last year and get around 14 to 15 sacks. Him and Green on the outside. On the outside could cause a lot of issues for QBs. Think C.J. Mosley is going to be a Raven too. I would love if C.J. Mosley is a Raven. He's got that connection. He played with Zach Orr. He's a little bit cheaper because he's hurt. I think that's a guy to definitely look for in free agency. B-. I feel like the trade back in the 4th was terrible and cost us Josh Farmer and or Swinson and possibly Riley. Buchanan was likely there in round 5. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But you never know. I think they just really like Buchanan. So they wanted to just make sure that they didn't miss out on him. Green is a favorite. Loop is a favorite. Wester's a favorite. Sone Nto, the UDFA, is a favorite. And by the way, our first-round rookie always breaks down the huddle in minicamp. Still, man, you still got to love to see it, no matter what. All righty. Make sure you guys keep getting those questions in, Jack. We already got a good amount in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 6. 7. 8. Wow. 8 questions already. Appreciate you guys. Keep getting those questions in the comment section. Use hashtag Ravens. The Bills game is leading our poll, 56%. I'm not surprised. That would probably be my number 1. I'd probably go Bills, Packers, Chiefs, Bengals. That's how I would order it. Only 1% on Packers right now. But I'm just excited to watch them play in Lambeau Field. That's going to be a ton of fun. All right, Jack, are we almost ready to roll on segment numero dos? That's segment number 2 for those of you who don't speak Spanish. I took Spanish from kindergarten all the way through my junior year of high school, and I am awful at it. And I took it for like 15 years, and I'm still not good. Fun fact, my wife came into college as a Spanish minor. She did not leave college with a Spanish minor, but she came into college. Alrighty. We're going to talk a little bit of Von Miller. Some rumors on him signing with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll get into that all on today's show. Stick around, like the video, do all that stuff. We'll get in our second count right now. Today's rumor we are discussing on the Ravens Rundown surrounds a former Super Bowl MVP. Are the Ravens making a push for Von Miller? Last Word on Sports put out an article, and they listed the Baltimore Ravens as a top destination for the free agent edge rusher. That's what we're breaking down on the show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Joey Petersen. We do this thing every single day right here on the Ravens Rundown. And I need you guys to like today's video if you think the Ravens will win the North. Okay, I've been talking a lot with Jack Sperry. He's our Steelers Talk host. Been talking a lot to Matthew Peterson. He's our Browns Report host. And they basically are giving the Ravens like a 10% chance to win the North this year, which I have zero clue why. So to prove them wrong, if you think they're going to win the AFC North for the third year in a row, do me one big favor and like today's video. So the question of the day, should Baltimore sign Von Miller, the edge rusher who has won a Super Bowl MVP, took a little bit of a step back last year, but could be what's missing for the Ravens? Here's Anthony Pelosios. The Baltimore Ravens should feel desperate to get any available free agent linebacker. Miller might be past his prime, but maybe he's the last piece to push the Ravens for a Super Bowl. And again, I said he's taken a little bit of a step back over the last couple of years, and he has. Still got 6 sacks in 13 games played last year. Not a bad stat at all. And look, Von Miller is not going to give you what Von Miller gave you 10 seasons ago, okay? That's not going to be the guy you're trading for. You're probably just trading for a guy who's going to be a third down pass rush specialist, which is fine to me, okay? Because his resume is absolutely phenomenal. He's played with 3 teams, Bills, Rams, Broncos, 2-time Super Bowl champion, was that Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 50. So at this point, 9 years ago? He's been a Pro Bowler 8 times. He's been a first-team All-Pro 3 times as well. And look, he took a little bit of step back, like I've said already, but he's not done, okay? I don't think he's done. I think he's got some left in the tank. He missed some time last year with suspension. Kind of took him a little bit while to get back in that rhythm, back in that flow. The Bills' pass rush also just kind of struggled a little bit last year. I think if you put him on a defensive line with Kyle Van Noy, Dafe Owe, Mike Green, he's going to be targeted a little bit less by offensive lines. I think he's still going to have a lot of success, and he's still got it. He still had some really good statistics last year. He ranked 5th with a 21.9% win rate and pressure rate and 9 pressures in the first 2 weeks of the season. Against Miami, he had 4 pressures, 1 sack, and 14 rushes with an average time to pressure of 2.10 seconds. And he earned an 82.4 overall grade from PFF, ranking him 15th among 211 edge rushers. This dude still got some left in the tank, and I think he could fit right in with the Baltimore Ravens. Show it down below in the comments and by hitting that thumbs up button. You want the Ravens to sign Von Miller? If you do, like today's video, show me that way, and if not, go ahead and get in the comment section and tell me why. So back to Anthony Pelosios' statement, okay? I get his sentiment about the Ravens should sign any free agent linebacker, but the outside linebacker room is honestly pretty crowded at the moment. Like, so crowded, I don't even know, and I don't think David Ajabo is even going to make this roster, okay? You got Kyle Van Noy, you got Adedafe Owe, Mike Green, Adisa Isaac, Tavius Robinson, David Ajabo, Malik Ham, DeJuan Black. You got a lot of players and a lot of really good players, okay? And right now, I think only 5 are making this roster. The top 4 are locks, especially that top 3. They're not going to give up on Adisa Isaac yet. Tavius Robinson, I put in over David Ajabo just because he's there more. He's more consistent, plays more football, gets hurt less, okay? And so if you're looking at that number 39 spot, the final spot in the outside linebacker room, think I'd take Miller over Robinson. Sure, Robinson probably gives you a little bit more in the run game. You saw it definitely in that playoffs. But, like, you're joking me if you don't think that Von Miller, even at this age, is a better edge rusher, a better pass rusher than Tavius Robinson is. You're joking with me if you don't think that Von Miller still instills a little bit of fear in the opposing quarterbacks when he's on the line of scrimmage, okay? But all this comes back to what Jeff Zreback said last week. We mentioned it on the show. It was about Jadeveon Clowney. But I think it still follows suit perfectly with how we got to approach the Von Miller possibility, okay? Here's what the Athletic writer said. The Ravens are a draft and develop team, and they typically lean toward rewarding their own with opportunities before going outside for help. In other words, how they approach Clowney's availability will tell us more about their evaluations of their own young edge rushers than it will about their feelings about Clowney. So that begs the question, right? Will Baltimore screw their young pass rushers, for lack of a better term, for a better chance to win a Super Bowl? Or is there still a little bit of them that values the future of that position? Because if you take Miller over Tavius Robinson, then you're saying, okay, Miller's going to help us win a Super Bowl right now. A little bit easier. A lot more than Tavius Robinson is. But you know he's probably only a one-year rental. And you're saying goodbye to a guy that you could keep around for the next 7 years as a solid rotational pass rusher. It's a big question to ask and an even harder one to answer. So I'm letting you guys answer it for me, okay? Get down in the comments. What should the Ravens do with Von Miller? Should they sign him or should they just pass on him? You let me know right now. Coming up on the show, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why I think Von Miller would be deadly in this Ravens defense. But before that, we got to talk about the awesome sponsor on today's video, our good friends over at Prize Picks. And you can cash in on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money sports action. So join over 10 million users and sign up today. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series. Starting with the play-in round. Every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes Two ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 a VIP trip to the ship. Let's talk a little bit about the NHL because my Dallas Stars are currently in the Western Conference Finals. And I've got the more on Wyatt Johnson for shots on goal, the less on Thomas Harley for shots on goal, and the more on Connor McDavid for shots on goal against the Edmonton Oilers. That hockey series is going to be a ton of fun to keep up with, at least for myself. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. So we're going to do a little bit of an exercise, okay? I want everybody to do one thing with me. Close your eyes. Imagine this, okay? And I'm closing my eyes as well. Imagine a pass rushing unit. My eyes are back open now. Where on first and second down, out there on the field, you have Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Oweh. Two guys that logged over double-digit sacks last year. They're in there first and second. Then they get tired. You bring in, on third down, the fresh legs of Von Miller and Mike Green. And these four are interchangeable. It could be Kyle and Mike Green on first and second down, then Odafe and Von Miller. It could be Mike Green and Von Miller on first and second down, then Odafe and Kyle Van Noy on 3. But just imagine having four edge rushers that you have a ton of confidence in. For when the offense is tired, when they're gassed, when it's third down, you can put two brand new, fresh legs in the game to absolutely change the course of it. Because they're that good. Okay? And the thing about this roster last year is you need more edge rushers. You need better edge rushers. Nobody had more than 50 pressures in 2024. The closest to that number was Kyle Van Noy around 46. And only 3 players had more than 30 pressures. So there's room for improvement. There's room to get better. Just because they got a ton of sacks, just because they took the quarterback to the ground a lot in 2024 doesn't mean that this was a good unit, and doesn't mean that it was a perfect unit, and doesn't mean that Von Miller couldn't help. Because he can, and he would. And sure, you'd have to weigh the fact of, hey, it's probably just a one-year rental. You're probably not going to get a ton from him after this next season. But if you believe you're going to win a Super Bowl, and you believe you're one more consistent edge rusher away from doing that, by all means, go get Vaughn. Go take a swing. Go get better. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. You can find me on social media at Joey Petersen 8 on Instagram and on Twitter. Same handle. Make sure you spell it right. And also, make sure you guys are subscribed. Okay? We do the Ravens every single day right here on the Ravens Rundown. No better place to be if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan on YouTube. I can promise you that. We'll see you next time. All right, let me know, what should the Ravens do with Von Miller? Should they sign him or should they pass on him? You let me know in the comment section. Sign says Kimberly. Dr. Ilwan says Miller over future. The window is open now. Darius says, do you think Lamar Jackson is in his prime, or do you think he got more in him? Ooh, great question. I think that he is in the beginning of his prime. Yeah. Because I think, like, what you saw earlier, and, like, how old's Lamar? I think he's, like, 29? 28. He just turned 28 in January. And so, like, a lot of times, quarterbacks don't enter their prime until, like, 30, because that's when everything just starts slowing down. So everything you've seen from him, in my opinion, has just been the result of him being more athletic than everybody. And now I think, like, after these next couple of seasons, you're going to see a quarterback who's just so incredibly veteran and just has the game on lock, in a sense. Jameer says Ravens should sign Von Miller. He is out of his prime, but we could use a little more help on the edge. I could not agree more. Back in 2009, the Ravens lost a frustrating one at Lambeau on Monday Night Football. Hashtag Ravens, would you have loved Stephon Gilmore on our team for depth? Yes, I would have, 100%. Moggs has a fire emoji. Kimberly Harmon has a fire emoji. Jose says, I think Kolar likely and Key Mitch going to have great seasons. I really hope so. I think Mitchell is going to be one to, like, keep an eye on because he was so great his rookie year. Then he tore his ACL, and he wasn't that great last year, but I don't think he was ever fully healthy. And so I would love for him to have a bounce-back year, be a great running back. A lot of people saying signing. A lot of people want Von Miller, Jack. King Lee says, I voted the Bears game. Interesting. Not a Bears game on here. Bills is still leading the poll, 59, almost 60%. Y'all keep voting. Jack, I feel like we got enough questions. Yeah. Great. Great. We're going to go ahead and get into the cut for our mailbag. So if you guys want to keep getting them in, you can keep getting them in while we're going. Use hashtag Ravens or Super Chat. A Super Chat guarantees a spot on the show. Guarantees your question gets asked. Yes, Jack? Great. Good call. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I got used to Malaki. Good stuff. Good stuff. All righty. Appreciate you guys who already have questions in. Keep getting them in. Use hashtag Ravens. Super Chats guarantee they get on the show. And without further ado, we're going to get into it. You guys stick around. We got one more cut left, and it's coming up right now. You're watching the Ravens Rundown Mailbag. It is my favorite segment of the week. Your questions, my answers on anything surrounding the Baltimore Ravens. All of these questions come from the fine members of the flock. And if you're one of them and want to get your questions the next time, make sure to join us on Tuesdays. One of the way you do that is hit those bell emojis, okay? Turn your notifications on because we go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Getting those noties on just means you get notified every single time that we drop a video. Right now, we got 3.8 thousand members of the flock in the Noti gang. I want to get to 4,000 just from today's video, okay? I need 200 diehard Ravens fans to hit those bells and join the Noti gang right now. Let's start with Joe. Great name, Joe. #Ravens, what do you see the AFC playoff standings being? Phenomenal question. We got to go to last year to kind of like, because I want to just get everybody caught up on what they looked like in 2024. So the playoff standings were as follows. The Chiefs had the number 1 seed, and then the Bills had that number 2 seed, and then the Ravens won their division, were at the number 3. The Texans won their division, were at that number 4 spot, and then the wild card were the Steelers. It was the Chargers, and also, who's in that last wild card spot? Steelers, Chargers, and Broncos as well. Okay, so now we got that underway. I think that the Ravens are going to be the 2 seed. I think the Bills are going to be the 1 seed just because they're not better. They play in a worse division. Okay, they win a lot of games because of that. And so I think it goes Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, because I think they kind of take a little bit of a step back. I think the Texans are still going to be in that 4. They're still going to win their division. Their division sucks. I think the Chargers, Broncos are going to be in the playoffs as well. I do not think the Steelers will be in the playoffs. I would not be surprised if maybe the Dolphins kind of take a step back up and start playing a little bit better football. Maybe the Bengals take a step up, play a little bit better football. That's probably what I'd say right now. Darius Williams saying, #Ravens, do you think Lamar Jackson's going to run more since he's got a good backup quarterback? I don't think that's going to be the reason. I hope he runs more just because he's better when he runs more. And we all remember when his mom cussed him out, and so he started running more, and it was really awesome against the New York Giants. But I don't think that was a reason he ran less last season, was because Johnson was the backup. I think it was just because he tried to protect himself a little bit more. I think that's going to be the same this year. He'll still run a good bit. He'll still have a ton of rushing yards, but I don't think it'll be because of Cooper Rush. Miko Rantanen, back-to-back weeks for Miko. What's up, man? Are the Ravens going to trade Rashad Bateman? I don't think so. If you guys remember, he was on the trade block, quotation marks. There were discussions between Dallas and Baltimore about acquiring Rashad Bateman. Baltimore chose the deal with George Pickens over Bateman. But that let me know that at least Baltimore is somewhat open to having discussions about it. I think after they said no to that, after they passed on that, I think they're just kind of like in the mindset of, okay, let's just run with what we've got. I hope they don't trade Rashad Bateman. I think Rashad Bateman has a chance to be the wide receiver 1 on this team in 2025, okay? I think he's extremely special, and I'm so excited to see him in year 3. I think he's going to take even a bigger jump, or I guess year 4. Let me know down below. Should the Ravens trade Rashad Bateman? Give me a yes or give me a no. If I know my guys and girls that watch the Ravens Rundown, I'm going to see a lot of no's. So let me know in the comment section right now. Next one coming up from Yaml PR. Will Falele be replaced by Emory Jones this season after week 1? I don't think so. I don't think so because I think that if it does happen, it'll happen later. John Harbaugh mentioned during rookie minicamp that Emory Jones wasn't playing because of a labrum issue. And so because of that, he missed rookie minicamp. He's going to miss OTAs. They said he hopes to be back by training camp. That's a lot of time for a rookie to just be flat out missing, to be not there for. And so I think that's going to hinder him, especially when he's going up against 2 guys. One of them played all 17 games last season, and Daniel Falele. One of them, and Andrew Voorhees, was the starter last year going into the year. And so I don't think so. I think it might be like after week 14, like later in the season, but I don't think it's just going to be like after week 1. So I guess yes, after week 1, but like late after week 1. Kimberly Harmon got a question in saying, hashtag Ravens, will Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson go over 1,000 yards or more in the regular season? Rushing, I think, is what you're asking. I don't think Lamar will go over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he could. I just don't think he will. Derrick Henry will go over 1,000 yards rushing. He better go over 1,000 yards rushing. $30 million, 2-year extension. Yeah, get me a K. I think he will. Darius is next saying, hashtag Ravens, do you think we finally beat Kansas City this season? This is a loaded question, Darius. I think we do, but I think it's in the playoffs. Ooh, spicy, right? May 20th, we're already making that call. I just think where you play Kansas City week 4, you open up on the road against the Bills, and then you have a home game, and then another home game against Detroit, and then you go on the road against Kansas City. Like, it's in a weird spot. It's really going to be hard to win. It's always hard to win against the Chiefs. It's always hard to win against the Chiefs on the road, especially after you played the Bills and the Lions 2 games in the 3 weeks prior. I would probably say they lose against Kansas City in the regular season just because of that spot, but I think they beat them in the playoffs. Count that in. Another thing you can count in is this Ravens t-shirt. It's 50% off right now. Chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. I know it's hard to get a lot of really great Ravens swag for the cheap. It was $30. Now it's only $16. Chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt is where you need to go to get this deal. The comments are going to be the link's going to be in the comments and description. Big shout out to the friends at Fanatics. If you guys know anything about Fanatics, their material is so comfortable. You look good in it. And we all know that summers in Baltimore can get a little bit warm from time to time. If you're looking for a great present for Father's Day, a great birthday present, a great 4th of July present, I don't know. I don't care. It's $16. Chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt is where you need to go. Dr. Ilwan has the next question saying, hashtag Ravens, I really like what I saw in Braid. He could be a baby Hamilton. Do you think he will get a real shot to be the third safety? I do, Dr. Ilwan. At this point of recording, it's been about a week since the Achilles tear for Ardarius Washington, and Baltimore is yet to do anything to replace him in free agency. Now, part of that might be they just don't really think this free agency class, safety-wise, is up to snuff, which I disagree with. They got some good options. But I think the more realistic part of that is they just really believe in Bo Braid. Okay, they really think he could step up and be Ardarius Washington. Because you got to remember what Ardarius Washington is. He's a good safety, but like he's not this unbelievable Ed Reed type. He's really great against the run. He makes smart plays, but like he's not wonderful and perfect in coverage. Neither is Bo Braid. I think they just need to throw a strong safety in there on early downs, a guy who's not afraid to hit somebody, who's aggressive, and that's exactly what Braid is. Loved watching him in the preseason. Really hope to see him at least get a shot to be that third safety on the roster. 21 Savage Cheese is our next question. Hashtag Ravens, would you have loved Stephon Gilmore on our team for depth? Yeah, I would have, especially speaking of Ardarius Washington because of that injury. Because prior to that, I don't think you necessarily needed a ton of depth on the outside because of just the way that your defensive back room was set up with Kyle Hamilton being a little bit more flexible, both Ardarius and Malaki in the safety room. And then you got the outside corners in Marlon and Nate. Well, now with Ardarius getting hurt, they're probably going to shift back and flex back Kyle Hamilton to the safety role. That means Marlon's going to go on the inside. It means you're going to have a starting outside cornerback. Stephon Gilmore is still a guy who can give you good reps in this league. So, yeah, I'd love him for a little bit of depth. Next up is Sheamus Rax. Hashtag Ravens, do you think David Ajabo steps up, earns a spot this year, gets cut before the season? Sheamus Rax, I think he gets cut. I don't see him stepping up. He's missed too much time. He's far too injured. He's not that great when he's in there either. It's hard to call him a bust, but, he hasn't been very good. So I think they take Tavius Robinson over David Ajabo. At least that's what I would do. I'd sign an outside edge rusher like Von Miller or Jadeveon Clowney over them either, or as well. Dr. Ilwan, hashtag Ravens this preseason with a good match, a backup QB. What non-starting wide receiver or tight end makes a name for himself? Ooh, great question. Dr. Ilwan, killing it today with questions. I think watch out for Dayton Wade again. Dayton Wade was the star of the preseason last year. He made a lot of really good plays. He made some bad quarterback play from Emory Jones and Devin Leary look good. I think watch him. I also think everybody's going to be fascinated and in love with LeJontay Wester, okay? Those are two names I would look at to make some noise, and I'm really excited to watch both those guys, okay? Dayton Wade, loved him last year. Really, really hope he's taken another step up for his game over the past year. Darius Williams, think Lamar Jackson is in his prime, or do we got more in him? This is an interesting question because with Lamar, it's like twofold. Because I think the older he gets, the less athletic he's going to be. I'm not saying that he's going to be not athletic this next season. I still expect him to rush for a ton of yards, make a ton of guys miss, and be an absolute freak. But that's just like science. You get older, you get a little bit slower. Like, that's just how life works. He's never going to be his 22-year-old self that we saw coming into the league. Like, he's never going to be that fast, never going to be that twitchy. But also, as quarterbacks get older, usually around age 30 is when they hit their prime because the defense and everything kind of just slows down for them. They're able to pick apart defenses a little bit easier. And Lamar's 28 right now. He's getting close to that. And so I think he's at the beginning of his prime. Maybe year 2 of it. I think he's got a lot more in him as well. 21 Savage Cheese coming up next. Say hashtag Ravens. Who do you think will take a bigger step, Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman? I mean, Zay got 1,000 yards last year. So I don't know how much of a big step you could want him to take. I think Rashad Bateman takes the bigger step out of the two of those. I mean, I said it in the beginning of the show. I got to stand on business. I said he could be a wide receiver 1 at the end of the year. And so that would be a massive step. I think it's Bate. I love Bate. Can't wait to see him. Bob Barker, final question of today's episode. Hashtag Ravens. Should we trade for Jair Alexander? It's a question we talked about a lot over the last couple of months. It's been an interesting situation in Green Bay. As the time of this recording, he has yet to sign a restructure contract, but he's also yet to be cut. He's yet to be traded. He's just kind of been in limbo for the last 3-4 months or so. I don't think they trade for him. I think they wait to see if he gets cut or not. That way they get him at a reduced price. His contract is so much, like you'd have to pay him a ton of money, and it's just such a massive risk because of his injury status. If I'm Eric DeCosta, I'm not like making any drastic moves to go out, trade for Jair Alexander, because there's a decent chance he just gets cut anyway and you can just go sign him. Make the call for me in the comment section. What should the Ravens do with Alexander? Should they trade or should they pass on him? Let me know in the comments right now. Thank you guys for watching today's mailbag. Again, if you guys want to be there on Tuesday evenings, we go live at 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a moment. All right, you guys let me know. What should the Ravens do with Jair Alexander? Should they trade for him? Should they pass for him? Get your final votes in before we scurry on out of here. Ooh, looks like another vote for the Packers game. Right now, out of 102 votes, 61, 27, and 2. We can just say those numbers as they are because it's 102 votes, so we can just basically say 61 people vote the Bills, 27 vote the Chiefs, 10 vote the Bengals, and 2 vote the Packers. You guys are really excited for week 1, and I'm right there with you. Remember, we'll be live on the channel for that. So this is your first time hanging out with us, first time checking us out. Here we are. We go live every single Tuesday. We're live an hour before every single game, preseason and regular season, and we're live for the entirety of it, okay? This is the place to be if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan on YouTube. I can promise you that. All right, Jack, let's go ahead and get on out of here. Appreciate all of you guys sticking with us. Appreciate all of you guys for liking today's video as well. For producer Jack, I'm Joey Petersen. Have a great day, and God bless.